Well, do you know what to do if disaster were to strike at home while you were sailing on the high seas? Hi, my name is Carlene and this is my channel with See It with C. I recently had a situation where I was stuck at sea while I had received some really unfortunate news from home. But before I get into tips to share with you, make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe so that you can get travel vlogs and other tips such as this on a regular basis. So, my name is Carlene and this is my channel, See It with C. And recently I was sailing on Royal Caribbean's Jewel of the Seas. And unfortunately, literally on the first night, I received bad news that my uncle had passed away while I was literally on the first evening of my cruise. If you know anything about cruising, oftentimes you may not be able to get directly to land. And in this case, I was heading to Royal Caribbean's private island. So there was surely no way to get off the ship. And I felt a little stuck, of course, sad with the individual situation, but I had to get it together and figure out how to get home to my family as quick as possible. So all that to say, that experience kind of helped me pull together some tips to share with you should anything happen disastrous back at home while you are sailing the high seas. Tip number 1. Please be sure to leave someone at home your travel details. I will honestly say I've traveled so much that I've gotten a little guilty with sometimes I'll skip town and not let people know where I am. Because sometimes I don't like the passive aggressive, oh, you're traveling, you're always gone comments. So sometimes I will skip town and not let people know. However, this situation taught me, please be sure, particularly when you are cruising, let people know your ship name, the company that you're sailing on, the sail dates, so your start and end dates, your cabin number, so that they can contact corporate should they need to and be able to get in direct contact with you. Luckily for me, just so happened this cruise, and I typically don't book internet every time, but I just so happen to have internet. So because of my phone, I was able to get communications from home, which alerted me to what the situation was back at home. So that's my tip to you. Make sure that you have someone at home knows exactly where you are, what ship, sail date, your cabin number, and that kind of makes things a little easier for if you need to get a phone call from land to your stateroom. It helps things out a little bit more. You also may want to consider making sure at home, not only that somebody has your information about what you're doing in the high seas, but also making sure that somebody has a copy of your car key, somebody has a copy of your door key, any relevant codes, making sure people have access to your email. I have some people who have a copy of my passport. Should for some reason I lose it en route, I can get a quick copy to me. So just make sure, folks at home have some access to some of your most pressing details. I will also say, probably point number 2, sometimes making sure that you have that Wi-Fi connection is helpful because it helped me to kind of resolve some of my travel situations by using the Wi-Fi calling so that I could cancel some of the things I need to cancel. Essentially on this trip, I was supposed to do back-to-back cruises, so I needed to quickly cancel my next sailing as well as all the things that I purchased for that sailing. So the Wi-Fi dialing allowed me to handle some of that, but not all of the things. Tip number 2, and I know you've heard this 1,000 times, but I'm pushing travel insurance. However, not just having travel insurance to have a travel insurance. Have you actually read the terms and conditions for the cruise line insurance offered? Have you read the terms and conditions for the travel insurances you may have purchased for a year on your yearly plans? Oftentimes people think just because they purchase the insurance that they're fully insured. And sometimes those insurances sometimes don't cover you until you leave, start traveling. Sometimes they don't cover just certain things that you might actually need. So make sure you are deeply familiar with the terms and conditions of the travel insurance. And frequently you are able to check out what those terms and conditions are before you pay for them. I personally have a yearly travel insurance plan. I like to purchase enough to cover at least my biggest trip. I often frequently book my travel using a credit card that also has travel insurance. So even though I may save my cash up to buy a cruise, I will often pay or frequently pay for my cruises on the travel credit card that has the best travel insurance so that there's some coverage. In this case, I got lucky too because I purchased a refundable airline ticket. I will say, particularly for those of you who like to travel often, I love to be spontaneous sometimes, and I'll be at the end of my cruise and I'm like, I don't want to go home. I can just toggle the travel dates because I don't always book the basic economy ticket. Sometimes I might book the ticket that's a little more pricey but allows me the insurances if I can change my dates. In this case, I was able to change my airport from where I was supposed to be cruising to my second cruise. I was able to change the airport to an airport that was closer to where my cruise port was, so that when I got off, I didn't have to worry about getting all the way down to another airport. I was just able to make that quick change on my phone with minimal penalty. I don't think any, probably just the difference of the airfare. I think at that time it was $28. Something really nominal. I was able to make a quick change, and that just kind of helped with my being able to process all that was happening. I can imagine having to deal with the bad news and getting hit over the head with a very expensive flight to get back home. So I'll say make sure you get the travel insurance. Check first to see what the terms and conditions of your travel insurance are. Make sure it covers your needs. Get it if you need it, and then sometimes also double insure yourself by not always booking the cheapest fare, particularly for flights, because that gives you some wiggle room should you want to, one, make some spontaneous changes in a good way, or two, if you need to quickly reroute yourself so that you can get back home as fast as possible. Tip number 3 is making sure that you are aware of the resources that are on board. When I was going through my situation, trying to call and make sure I got in touch with particularly a company so I can cancel my next cruise, I was at the private island, and thankfully I had Wi-Fi dialing, but something went wrong and I was not able to get to the next setting for corporate. I will say, Onboard, they have the ability to call corporate guest services, or guest services able to call your cruise line's corporate to help you with any of your travel needs. So while I tried to call to cancel and got a little disconnected using Wi-Fi calling, going to guest services, telling them what my situation was, they literally passed me the phone and connected me to corporate on land so that I could figure out some of the details, make some of the cancellations, make some of the rebookings that I needed to make during the situation. If you are listening, I know a lot of you are also pretty avid travelers. Drop in the comments if you are comfortable sharing what has been one of the most, traumatizing or unexpected things that happened at home while you were on the high seas, and put in the comments so this can be a resource to others, how possible solutions for solving common issues, so that folks can use this video as a resource, not just from the things that I'm sharing, but also from the comments and experiences that you are leaving in the comments. If you're watching this, scroll through the comments to get some ideas so you can prepare. It's better to be prepared before something happens than on the back end and you don't know what to do and you're in a frazzled state. So I hope that helps someone with what happens when disaster strikes while you are on the high seas. Make sure again that you like, comment, subscribe. This is See It With C. Thanks for chatting with me. Tune in for more tips and travel vlogs, and I will see you in the next video.